Platinum. What up, world? We back for another great edition of the Locker Room. We got a special guest. We got black excellence in the house. Black excellence. But before we start, like and share. I need y'all to start liking and share. Let the people know we back on live with a great edition for them. I got the great Bobby Mack, great Elmer Fisher, and the mighty Mayor Chris Harvey in the building with me today. We're going to get busy and talk some real business, politics, and talk life too. Manor won the game, y'all. I'm sad. But because of that, I'm still on that Jag juice. We still representing that.
Always.
And because it's opening week, y'all know what it is with the hat. I'm in Longhorn country. I do have love for the Longhorns, but y'all know my heart is blue.
So before we get into that, I'm a Jag through and through, but we're going to rep the red for Manor Mustangs, doing your thing, getting the victory. So we hope that you guys are holding up the locker room trophy high. And so, yeah.
I got Manor Mustangs, but I do bleed purple.
Yeah, no doubt. But congratulations to the Manor Mustangs.
Yeah, man, and it was bittersweet, right? Yeah. I mean, if you're looking at it from the way we have to receive some of these, it's the parents, but then it's the children. The parents went to the J, the children went to Manor. But so it's bitter but sweet, but it was a good victory for Manor. We're going to give them all the love. You have to, and that's the way it should be, man.
So now that the game is over, communities will join together, and that's what it's all about. Just effectively, the East Side joining forces and then making the runs through the playoffs. But then we get to also talk about the mayor of Manor that is on the East Side making it happen.
That's what we're doing.
Talk to the world. Talk to the world while we're getting set up the right way. Bring it a little closer in.
I gotta
get to it. Let's go. Hold on. We in Tater Q world. What's up for Tater Q? We still getting busy. Black-owned establishment getting busy out here, baby.
Yeah.
Shout out to our sponsor. Now, if you do want to sponsor a locker room part of the episode, reach out to us, let us know what's going on. Yeah. But this first part of the locker room is brought to you again by Tater Q. He won't stop. We try to get other people to do it, but he like owning his own thing, man. So shout out to Tater Q and Bobby Mack. Let's get to it, man.
Let's get to it.
So I think one of the biggest questions that we kind of want to talk about is to dive straight in is first and foremost, what made you want to run for mayor?
Boy, that was my question right
there.
I
was going to ask.
Sure.
I would say it wasn't necessarily.
See that? My bad, Kevin. Let me see that.
I want to look necessarily. It was a fumble. That's a flag.
Yeah, that's a
flag. Throw a flag.
That's why he played basketball.
Yeah.
I'm reading. I'm making sure we're ready, bro. Let's go.
Yeah. So it wasn't necessarily me wanting to be on city council, me wanting to be the mayor. It's always been about problem solving.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, what's the best place for me to be so we can solve some problems? And the biggest thing that was leading me to get involved was I just kept seeing black and brown children get in trouble. And, we grew up in Austin. In the summertime, you could walk to any school, get lunch, play basketball in the gym, go to LBJ during the summer. You could work out, do different things. It was just things were open and available to you. And that's how you stayed out of trouble. Yeah, summer track, summer football, those kinds of things, basketball leagues. We didn't have those things here. So my goal was to get on council and try to create those opportunities.
Well, that's big. And so within that, what are some of the biggest challenges that you're having, with Manor and with Manor that you're encountering, that you're really working through?
I would say the biggest thing is probably just voter turnout. So we get
one of the same things we talked about with my man a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of people to ask for stuff, but then when it's time to vote for it, we can't find them at the polls. So, this November, at least, I moved to Maine in 2006. We haven't had a rec center, a library, any of that stuff since I've been living there, and long before I came out that way. This November, the city council, we voted to approve a bond package that is going to have a library, state-of-art library, state-of-art rec center for our kids to have, and adults, but safe place for our kids year round.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we don't know if people are going to turn out to vote for it. But it's what people have asked for. So that's kind of our biggest, one of our biggest challenges. Bringing to the people what they need based on what they're asking for, and then having the voter turn out for it.
With that being said, and knowing that we need the voter turnout, what are you doing to be creative to start bringing people out? And know that we are a platform that can help you in that form and fashion as well.
So, I mean, with me being the mayor,
Yeah.
there's only so much I can do and say,
What do you need us to do? You throw it out there,
I
speak
just
it.
told you. I just get out there and
Do we
vote
need to
for
get
that.
vans and pick
get
people up?
get people registered, get people to register, get people to come and hear about and learn about the projects, and then vote with their heart. I mean, it is everything that I've been trying to do, that our council been doing, has been about what's right for the people, for right now and for later on. Looking and planning for down the years, so that the people who are in Manor now can be there, but also so that their children, can go through school, get a good education, certificate, or a associate's degree or bachelor's degree, but then they be able to come back to Manor and get a good paying job and live there. Those are the things we were afforded in Austin before all the gentrification stuff took place. We're just trying to make Manor a space where you don't have to worry about gentrification, but we need people to get out and support.
I like it. I love it. I love it.
So we had a city council lady in, and one of her biggest things was, we don't have problems with getting people registered to vote.
Yeah.
We got problems with getting people out to vote.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one of the messages that we probably need to send is we understand that you're registered, but we need you to physically get out and vote to actually implement change.
So what I've seen is early voting turnout, especially in minority communities, is sometimes a little bit low.
Yeah.
And I think it might just be because, at least speaking for myself, right? When I was voting, I would wait to vote on election day because I could wait to vote for election day. It wasn't really anything about rhyme and reason, so I would just wait till election day.
Right.
But then what's happening now, especially in our community, those voting polls have been opportunities have narrowed. And if you're trying to come back in from Austin, Pflugerville, Round Rock, back into the main area to do your voting at your actual precinct,
Right.
you got to go through traffic, whatever the weather conditions are, and then you pull up and you see all the lines, and the people don't come.
It's a deterrent.
So it is a deterrent. So I would say do it during vote during early voting period.
Yeah.
You can get it out of the way,
Yeah.
and you don't have to worry about it no more. Knock it out. This lines are always small. You go in point in time day and it's small. So
Yeah, for sure. And so I know that in Manor, because I voted in Manor, there's a lot of facilities that are out there that are open that will allow people to get out and vote. So just the biggest push. You said that Manor has a bond that's coming out November
November
24?
20,
Okay.
23.
23.
Yeah,
Okay.
a couple of months.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's huge.
One
Now,
at a time.
is this
Go
the
ahead.
first time that Manor has had a bond?
I mean, we've done smaller packages where we haven't taken it to the voters, but this is to be the first time we've actually gone to the people with a response to what they've asked for the last 15 years. I have over 15 years of data where the folks have been asking the city for these things, and so we've, I think 4th of July, we had we celebrated 4th of July on the 1st, that Saturday, and we had fireworks and everything, but we also had some preliminary schematics of what the facilities could look like.
Right.
And so, we're hoping for our final product to be something that has, multiple courts for volleyball, basketball, some outdoor field spaces, and then indoor aquatics and exercise equipment and stuff like that, weight rooms.
That's what I'm talking about.
And then we're looking for towards a 2-story facility, indoor track. So those are the things that we're talking about and desiring to be in that facility, and that's what you'll see represented in some of those images.
Well, that's huge. And so where can people go and see those images? Have they been released yet?
We have a branding team that's going to start putting those out now. I would say hopefully next week. They should start seeing those things definitely in September.
Okay.
So they can see those images, but there was some, like I said, there was some preliminary that were already out, and the new ones that are going to come out are going to be a lot better. And you get to see what the library is going to look like, potential look like, the whole layout. It's going to. What we're looking for is we didn't want to have to do an investment and then have to come back 15 years from now when our population is a lot larger,
Right.
Yeah.
and say we need to grow it, but there's no more land.
Right.
We only have 10 square miles, and there's a lot of people moving in. There's a lot of companies trying to come into the area. There's a lot of retail and stuff coming in, and we didn't want to take the chance of going small, and then 10, 15 years later, we see that population growth that we know we're having,
Right.
and we don't have any land to do the things we're doing. So this bond is about getting the land that we need for large park space, outdoor fields, outdoor recreation, outdoor type of concert venues, economic development opportunities where we can control the cost so we can bring in more small businesses and those sorts of things, improving infrastructure for 30 years, ensuring we have the systems for better water quality, better roadways, and then again, going big into our parks and our recreation center and library.
So go to the fact
Love it.
around
Love it.
a lot of things that are happening, and I know that Manor has grown tremendously.
Yep.
So roughly what is the population now?
We are about 24,000 people in the city, and then we have about probably another 14 plus thousand in our immediate ETJ. So that's your Shadow Glens, your Presidential Meadows, and some other communities that are surrounding the new neighborhoods around us. And I think last year we estimated another 14,000 units coming into the city.
Man,
so
that's
with
awesome.
an average, and we're averaging 3 people per unit. So that's about 42,000 people. That'll be coming in the next few years.
The dynamics of the city is changing really because y'all have added apartments and everything
Yes.
now. Now you see a whole different type of Manor now.
Yeah, and I think that's real big because there wasn't apartments. The only apartments we had was over there off of drawing a blank. It was by the Travis County
Expo?
no, not the Expo. Benny Fisher.
Okay.
Benny Fisher Park.
Yeah.
And that's it's a county park, but then right kind of down the street to the right, there's Manor Townhomes, and that's affordable housing for senior citizens. And so they're doing a phase 2 of those. But prior to that, I mean, that was it. Now we have several sets of apartments, more coming. But when we talk about trying to make sure people don't get gentrified out of Manor.
Right.
So what we've been working to figure out is how we can solve that problem. And one of the things we learned about is that we can create as a city public facilities corporation. And what that allows us to do is to start getting into developing whether it be apartments or city facilities or communities, and helping us, giving us the ability to determine that price range of who's going into those spaces. And so we actually have had several months of discussion and work around that, and we created our first PFC. And we have projects now that are going to go through the PFC where we can actually now ensure that there's affordable housing in the city of Manor, and we can ensure we build those services.
So I want to get a pause there because what we want to do is make sure that the actual viewers know. So can you tell us and break it down into layman's terms
So, yeah, I got you.
what PFC is? What a PFC
so
is?
it's PFC. It's the easiest way to understand it. It's the city's way, or it's you can think of it like a nonprofit, if you will. And it's an entity that the state of Texas says you can create, and it gives you the ability to do bonding and erect facilities.
Okay.
And so the city, it's similar to your HACA, your housing authorities and stuff like that. And so, but you can do more than just housing authority. You can do other type of buildings and facilities. Right. And so, but when you're in the driver's seat, when you have a PFC, and the members of the PSC, also the members of council, then the mission of council can go forth, which is we want to make sure, one, we figure out how to get our teachers to live and stay in Manor.
Okay.
When you do that, that quality of life issue is then tackled, because now they don't have to go where all these other places. They can come live, work here, and we know that student achievement goes up when the teachers are also living in the community. So that's one thing we want to do. The other thing we want to do is make sure, like city people, city staff members can work here and not have to commute 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes to work. Same thing with our emergency response folks.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to do that. Then we're also looking at how we can work with partners to do workforce housing. So everyone that's making 50 to 70,000 can't really get that mortgage.
Yeah.
We can figure out how to bring in housing products, not just apartments, but even single family houses that that are the smaller footprint, but it gives you an opportunity to buy something and own it, right? Because
Build.
you're talking about
Build. There you go.
generational wealth. You can't get generational wealth out of apartment, right? So you can help somebody temporarily with the apartment, but if you can give them a small piece of land, a small home, then at some point in time they can live there, develop there, raise their kids there, and then when they need to move on, they can pass it down, or they can sell it and take that and invest somewhere else.
Right.
So
I like that, man.
Right.
I like that. So my question to you is, what's your favorite part about being a mayor in Manor? What's the rewarding of it? You know what I mean? You know.
Well, it's not paid.
Okay.
So
We didn't
Say
know
that
that.
again.
Say that again. We didn't know that.
You got a yellow flag? Yeah. Let me take a
World
sip
didn't
on
know
Y'all
that.
know what that means. Y'all
The
know what
world
that
didn't know
means.
that.
The world didn't know that. Don't get paid. Wow.
Yeah. So in the city of Manor, all council persons completely free. So we all hold down full-time jobs, and we find time, or I find time before work, after work, weekends, or I have to sometimes take off work
Right.
to get it done. And I would say the biggest thing is chipping away at the vision. So like our city has never had a comprehensive plan.
Wow.
So when you think about all these cities around us and how they're moving and shaking, and you see the growth and the things happening, we've never had one. So when I got on council 2019, I was like, we got to get a comprehensive plan. Former Mayor Dr. Larry Wallace, the same thing, was like, we got to get a comprehensive plan. And so I took on that. That was my baby. And then I think it was like 2021 is when we, maybe 2022, between those two is when we actually got our first comprehensive plan actually approved. So we're talking about 150 years, our city never had one.
Wow.
Man.
Now we have a plan that lets us know where we need to go for the next 30 years. And that's really what sparked our bond, because we were like, all right, knowing that we need to do this for our community, and knowing that all these people are coming in land grabbing, Travis County's got a bond coming up. It's for like $400 million. And some of that land they're gonna buy is out here, and portion of that land grab is nature preserves. But we got stuff we need to build for our people.
Right.
So we need to get our stuff now before it's just nature preserves.
So that was
out
like
there.
my question. With the radius, and you talked about the 10-mile, whatever radius, how do you see that stopping your growth or your vision? Are you able to purchase outside of that and continue to develop and move forward? What do you want? What are your thoughts and plans with that?
The laws have changed, which now allow landowners that are adjacent to the city to then petition where they're at to de-annex from that space, and then they can choose to annex into the city of Manor.
Okay.
And so if you've looked at old Manor history, we actually have a bigger footprint than what we actually have now.
Okay.
Somehow over the years, the city has lost land, specifically a good portion of the old historic African-American land no longer resides in the city of Manor.
Wow. Where does it reside? Let me ask.
It's in the city of Austin, ETJ.
What is that? Let's go in.
ETJ is the
let's
extraterrestrial
educate.
jurisdiction. And what it means is you got the city of Austin, city limit stops here, city of Manor, city limit stops here. All that land in between is what we call ETJ area. That's the land that that could annex into Austin or could annex into Manor, but it depends on your proximity to the city. So if you're closer to Manor, then you're in our area. And at some point in time, you could choose to annex into us.
Right.
If you're closer to Austin, then you can annex into Austin.
Right.
But Austin is a larger city, so they get a bigger footprint than we do.
Right.
So we can't go too far and say, like, I can say, for Manor, we're a smaller city, so we can say, yeah, we can annex you. I can't get those brothers back there because we're too small of a city. But if Austin was right here, they could go all the way out there.
Wow.
And so what happened was all of that historic African-American community that was Manor, when the laws allowed for the annexation to take place, it was all grabbed by Austin. When the state legislature did that. And so you have a historic community that is in the ETJ of Austin, but wanting to be served by the city of Manor, because literally they're
It's
in
right.
it's in Manor. It says Manor address 78653.
Wow.
And so and what that means is the services, the water, wastewater services, and community things that we do, they don't get the benefit.
Man.
They're at the mercy of the city of Austin to provide those things. And if Austin doesn't annex them anytime soon, then they don't have those things, which then puts that huge burden on Travis County because they have to cover everything that's not annexed.
Education, good people.
So
Education.
So
Let me throw this plug in there too. This is the importance of voting locally.
Yep.
Don't wait for presidential elections to start voting. We got to get out here and vote locally for the guys that we got in place that are really passionate. This man working for nothing. That's big.
Unheard of.
You understand? But we also got to stress early voting. But vote locally. We got to be just as excited about voting locally than we are in our jurisdictions where we house and home, than we live and we work. We got to vote there and make sure the right people are in place to keep our needs for the future intact.
Oh, absolutely. So Chris, I want to dive back into this $400 million bond that Austin is going to
county.
The county is doing to purchase land in Manor and make it nature preserves. What does that do to you, to the city, being the mayor of Manor? So it boxes you in. You can't grow. So what does that do to the city?
Well, so when you think about the key components for a city to thrive, you got to be able to bring in water, wastewater. You got to have
That's number one.
space for your school district to be able to grow and expand. At some point in time, you have to have a bigger presence of community college because people have to be able to train and get skills when new jobs come. Then you have to have space for jobs to come.
For business.
If you put a boundary of nature preserve around a majority minority community,
Majority minority.
you're then unintentionally, I would say unintentionally, choking the future and the opportunity out.
Or intentionally, I can say that.
Throw the flag on that though, Elmer. Let's make it is what it is.
So, oh man.
Say that again. I want you to say that again.
So-
Explain to them.
So if you're not paying attention, if you can unintentionally purchase land up around a community, make it a nature preserve, and then halt the economic development, the economic opportunities that we can bring to our community, the jobs, the employers, the tech companies, all those big things that are happening in Pflugerville and Round Rock, those communities that aren't majority minority, they're getting those opportunities to do those things. But for us, if you nature preserve the majority of our area, if you halt our ability to increase roadway infrastructure, 290, 973, and you choose to build south of us, then you're trying to choke us out.
Right.
Which then for us, what that means is gentrification is extended.
It's coming.
It's coming. And that's what we've seen. We started this journey, we're about 26, 27% African American, predominantly Hispanic, about I think 50% or so. Unfortunately, people are seeing those types of things and they're leaving. So we went from 26% down to about 21% in just a couple of years.
Wow.
Because the people they're asking, when are these things coming? And these things they're being missed. And when we're asking ourselves, hey, can we get you all stop focusing in land that where nobody lives? That's all we're asking for. There's people that live here. We're in the county. We live here. Why not spend the money on the people that live here that have a need, that have already been wronged in the other part of the county?
Right.
Reinvest here, give us what we need to thrive and survive so that we don't have to be pushed out again. Then go ahead after that and build in those areas where there's nothing at right now. But right now, that's what we're dealing with. There's a lot of the infrastructure, a lot of the money that's coming through the county, unfortunately, is not helping our city.
So they just come through and they barrel through
Barrel through?
because of the power of they have in numbers.
Yeah. But it's us to vote. And this was we go back
Oh,
to
we're going back to the voting.
Voter registration, voter education. So, and I know I'm probably gonna get some backslash, but
That's
you know,
okay.
but y'all know I'm from LBJ,
That's
so I gotta
okay.
keep it real.
That's what we
I
do.
didn't get on to be a politician. I got on to
Right.
make change. So,
No
Right.
doubt.
Yeah.
Right.
No doubt.
That's what's
here's the
up.
thing:
Man.
if you blindly go and vote for bills because you like what they say they're gonna do, and you don't understand the impact, then you would unintentionally choke your future.
Say that again, bro. You got flags thrown all over the field.
Boom.
Rough in the
Yeah.
past,
Challenge.
intentional, grounded.
You name it.
Say that again, bro.
So,
Wow,
Educate.
man.
If you're not paying attention to the voting and the agendas that are coming before you, you will unintentionally choke your future. And that's what we're dealing with.
So, Chris, so with that, and we see all these propositions and all these things that are coming out on, Voters Day. How do the voters and the people get educated to understand exactly what's going on? Right.
Yeah.
So you hear commercial, but 30 seconds doesn't tell the story.
Man. It
So-
gets it started.
Yeah.
Right. But how do we get the information so we know what we're voting for and voting on?
Well, I would tell you, I'm very easy to find.
Right.
I got a whole Facebook. You can just, I respond to probably 80 to 90% of the messages I get on questions. I'll say that's one. Two, if it's enough interest, we can have a town hall. We can come back here and do it. We can do what we need to do so there can be some specific education on that and talk to you about what we've done, who we talked to, who we're trying to talk to so that we can get the resources that our community needs so that we can thrive, not just survive.
So you hear what he said? He said that he'll come to Tater Q where the doors are open. I got the key. Huh? So what he's saying is, for all the people who have questions online, how can we come against this? How can you come right in here, we'll fill this whole thing up. We don't fill it up, it's all your fault.
There it
Because
is.
he calling you out, and we can have a good old meeting in here because we gotta get this stuff really going here, man. This ain't no game. This is real life.
It's real life.
Exactly.
It's real life.
So, Chris, how do we find the people that are proposing these bills, these propositions, to be able to sit down and speak with them about why they are seeking nature preserves in cities?
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's every there's always committees and subcommittees, right? And when we unintentionally or intentionally, when our community is spread out, and whether it be Black, Asian, Hispanic, whatever, when a group of people are spread out to one space, and then there's a committee that's formed, you get one seat, you get one voice. And what happens is then your one voice on the committee of 10, that's just one vote.
Wow.
And so one, you have to know that there's committees and subcommittees, and so you got to make sure that you're on that committee, at least have one, at least get your seat.
Right.
Then you need to make sure that the other 9 or 10 or however many are understand the cause and the impact of that. Then you have to understand that all the committee's going to do is bring forth a recommendation to whether it be the city council or bring the recommendation to the commissioner's court, depending on which one it is, whether it be city or county. And you still have an opportunity to speak there. You can sign up to speak at the commissioner's court every week that they have a meeting. But we're not there.
That's the point.
That's
And
the
so,
point.
so when you're not there, you have just a mayor
Man.
and a few council members and city people that are going and saying, hey, what you're about to do is not going to help us. It's going to hurt us.
Let me right there. How do we make that? That's to everybody up.
For
How
real.
do we make the logistics of life that really hold the fabric of our livelihood together? How do we make that important to our people? You understand? Elmer Fisher, Bobby Mack, Mr. Mayor. How do we make that important? Because voting, getting volunteers, people to understand that money's not everything. Some of this work the Lord requires you're gonna have to do it for free.
Yeah.
How do we train our people back to that mindset? Talk to me, one of y'all.
Well, I mean, first of all,
because it's a city of us.
it's think about it, man. the lack of.
It is us right out there. A lot of us, right?
In what area?
In Manor. It's
Yeah.
a lot of us. It's a city of us.
21%. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
21%, and then his.
but it dropped down.
About 50% Hispanic. So it's a city of
That's us.
minorities.
Yeah. That's us.
Yeah, but it's lack of. So we all got to understand the lack of.
Yeah.
And when you got the lack of tension, the lack of discipline, the lack of commitment, the lack of love in your community, all that's gonna fall
Yeah.
in between itself. And now we got a big pool of this, and we trying to fight something, and all them everything I just named off, you got lack of, because you know why? We can't see. We only see what's in front of us, right?
Right.
We only see what's in front of us. But what is faith, right?
Right.
Come on, man. Let's.
No, I
What
mean,
is faith? Something you can't see, but you believe in.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
that you first got to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
All these people what we lacking in, a lot of them don't even believe in themselves.
Yeah.
It's job for job, hour for hour, dollar for dollar.
Yeah.
You know what I
Real,
mean? And
real.
if I ain't making enough, man, I ain't going up there. They ain't gonna change my stuff.
We got to make it cool to be back in involved in community.
In the community, there you go.
Because right now, there's a lot of things that we prioritize in our community that are not bad things. It's good things. It advances us, moves us forward. But the things that matter most are the things that we stray from.
Yes.
True volunteers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, volunteers is a piece, but like
We need volunteers.
you have to have, you have to have a strong and engaged spiritual community.
There you
Yeah.
You
go.
have to have a
There you
strong
go.
and engaged school district.
Yes.
You have to have a strong and engaged nonprofits. Your
Yes.
business community, whether it be large or small businesses,
Yes.
have to be fully engaged in the
agree.
community giving. When you build that type of community where everyone is important, everyone is supporting each other, then you can thrive from there. But if my mindset,
Love how
if
you
I'm
put
in
that
survival of the fittest, right? I got to get mine. I got to get my bag. I got to do this. Then when my property equity goes up, instead of thinking about staying to build community, I'm going to sell and I'm going to go spread myself further away, which keeps me from being around someone that's going to have those conversations with me on my level about politics, about culture, about being involved. So we keep pushing ourselves further away
Man.
from this resource
Man.
that's going to help us learn and grow. So,
So I want to say this piece, and then I think we've got a slew of questions that are out there on the internet.
You got questions,
but
Mac?
I think the biggest piece is we don't want to replay the tape to see what happened on, if we take a look at now 11th Street and 12th Street,
Shit.
that was once ours, right?
They better
to
look
where
at it.
when we look down the street, it was predominantly black.
Yeah.
And so if we don't watch ourselves, then as we
Yeah.
talked about regentrification
Yeah.
at its finest,
Yeah.
then we get in the same scenario in the Manors,
Right.
in other small cities,
Yeah.
and we look up and it's regentrified.
Yeah.
And we didn't. It's not that we haven't seen it, because
Mm-hmm.
in our day and time we've actually seen it. We understand what 11th and 12th Street looked like back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, right?
Yeah.
And now it looks completely different.
Yes.
But it all started with some people actually having a plan 30 years ago,
yeah.
right? And so now what you're telling us is get involved so we don't see the exact same things
Happen
repeating
again.
themselves.
Man.
Because they'll throw you a bone just to shut you up, because as at a certain point with certain minority people, you just throw them a bone and they like, oh, they love us. Go ahead and put Black Lives Matter on the street. Hooray. But you still took over.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? But hold on, so when y'all ride up and down the street, we gave you something.
Yeah.
What you mad at?
Yeah.
And it'll be the same thing. Not saying we wouldn't want it, but it'll be the same thing in Manor. We gave you this. What you crying about? We gave you that. What you crying about?
Yeah.
And they building all around the community, taking over
Yeah.
and putting up big buildings and all of that.
And that's the thing is we have a very diverse community in Manor. There's no other city that have our demographics in this area except for Dallas,
Okay.
Houston, San Antonio.
Right.
And so when you start looking at when you start looking at what what people think we should be asking for, it's not what we want.
Okay.
We want everyone that lives in Manor to have the choice to stay living in Manor. And the only way you can ensure that, whether you black, white, brown, Asian, whatever you are, the only way you can ensure that everyone that is there can stay there is you bring the resources that they need to be successful. That means you bring in your community college, your technical schools, so that they can get the skills and pivot.
Right.
And get those higher paying wage jobs. That means you do the necessary things to support the school district. You volunteer, bring in mentors, bring in whatever dollars to help the school district do what it needs to do.
Yeah.
It means that the city work together with businesses, public-private partnerships, so that you can create incubator spaces.
Okay.
So that so-and-so over here, down here, that has a good business idea, but can never get off the ground because the rent too high.
Yeah.
You create a space so they can come into a safe space and they can have a reduced rent and they can be able to try that idea out, get some money, and then go into owning their own stuff. Manor is one of the few cities our size that actually went beyond COVID and provided rental assistance to small businesses.
Awesome.
Businesses that were still struggling post-COVID, small businesses that needed help with rent, and we provided them a year of relief.
So, if old B Mac want to throw that tater Q in Manor, I got to go through you, Chief. You're gonna be part of one of them, and I'm gonna want to shake your hand. And I know I got other couple hurdles to go through, but because I'm all about helping the human race.
Well, and right now is a good time to start if you're thinking about moving to Manor. Now is a good time because one of the other things on my list of goals was to get economic development up and running. So we hired a guy by the name of Scott Jones. You know him. When I say God bless us on this pick, this dude knows any and everybody, and has a resume from being a former council. Matter of fact, a lot of the things that happened in Frisco, he was on council to make that piece happen.
Awesome, man.
And so he's on staff in Manor. Our city manager, Scott Moore, he's no stranger to Central Texas. I think he finished most of his time in Bastrop or something like that. Yeah.
But he played with us down at Givens hooping.
Yeah, he played in Givens down,
Got his knees
matter of fact,
dirty.
y'all know his people. Coach Colton. Yeah. So that's his uncle. So that's our city manager. Then we got an excellent.
They blew Frisco up though. That's like one of the hottest areas in the country, really, bro. Like,
so when we talk about the vision, right? You have to you can't just ask for these little things, right?
Right.
You need to talk about, all right, how do you build a city that can sustain itself?
Yes.
Okay.
And so that means that you also have to be simultaneously looking at hotel tourism.
there you go.
So that people are thinking about, okay, what is it that's going to make Manor pop? Where people want to say, you know what, this weekend I'm going to drive down.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Or you say
me into my next question.
I'm in California, but hey, man, I heard that Manor got such and such.
Right.
Those are the things we're working on now.
What are some of those things?
I can't speak about some of those things on public.
Not yet. You hold it under your hat.
Not yet. Okay, I got to hold some things
because we need some stuff. We need to know why I come to Manor, why I invest in Manor, why I buy a home, why I send my kid to the schools in Manor.
What I can tell you is we have some awesome city council members and we have some awesome city staff, and we have a mission and vision statement that says we will become a regional leader. And all of what we're trying to do is to keep our community-oriented interactions, increase our community engagement, build community, maintain diversity, bring opportunities. But we also want people to look at Manor and be like, man, I used to try to speed through there. Slow down because I didn't want that ticket. It was the flashing light. But now I am trying to stop, vacate, bring my family and friends, because what Manor has done.
Right.
We want and we want to do it the right way. So we're seeking a lot of expert advice and how to do this thing the right way, because we still have we have people that want us to maintain the community feel, and we want that.
Right.
We want you to feel just like we can go to certain parts of Austin and it still feel community to the remaining parts, but it's a big city. We want to still keep that small town feel. We want to be able to for folks to be like, I still want I want to start a family in Manor.
Right,
we
yeah.
want that.
Right.
But we also want to be able to make sure that our tax dollars don't go to Stonehill, don't go to Mueller. That those opportunities stay in our city. And so we've passed, done some work with Manor Crossings. That's at 29973. That's going to help close the $1.9 billion retail gap. With a ton of stores that are coming there, shopping centers, fast food restaurants, major grocery.
Can we get a few names, or is it, or you can't give me a few names?
Throw us a bone, bro.
We just want a few bones.
Y'all can look at Retail Connection and see what they're advertising.
Retail Connection.
I like
so,
when he smile like that. Though.
Yeah.
He got something up his sleeve.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm
You don't want
hearing.
to let us in.
I'm hearing that Manor's getting an HEB, and so I think that's is something that we're hearing. So that's big if HEB is going to go put their footprint, and I'm hearing there's some things like Home Depots and now eateries. I guess I got to get on Retail Connection to see what eateries are coming.
Yeah. I'm hearing Chick-fil-A. I'm hearing Mod Pizza.
Okay.
I'm hearing Jersey Mike's.
Okay. All right.
I'm hearing for the youngsters 5 and below. For little children. I'm hearing a lot of stuff.
That's growth.
That's
growth, man.
all right.
And like I said, your original thing was, what's the possibilities of a Tater Cube?
Yeah.
Right now, there's the developers that are in the process right now of trying to bring out and do some pad sites. So now will be the time to get that introduction to Scott Jones.
Oh yeah, man.
And have that conversations and introductions and see what they're talking about.
Y'all need a Tater Q in Manor.
Yeah.
So
Texas.
they ain't got to go to Elgin. Man, we ain't got to go that extra 10. We can just pull on in right here, man, and get a little bit more than just taters, man.
So guys, I think we got a lot of Q&A.
Man,
What
you got, Kev?
Kev, read us live. Kev, talk to him.
Hold on, man. Jack, you got him right there, Jack. Don't shoot him one. You done picked it up, man. What he got, man? Tell me what you got, Jack.
I'm going through them, bro.
Okay.
That's why I thought Kevin already had them lined
man.
up.
Kevin listening, man.
Kevin
Making sure
listening,
everything going.
Like
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm trying to get through. I'm looking at the iPhone.
With all those developments, how do we get
a lot of
people
positive
to and
comments.
from those things since traffic is already so congested in Manor?
So let's talk about why traffic is congested in Manor. Has nothing to do with Manor. It has to do with the last 20 to 30 years of everybody being okay with Austin getting all the jobs. And nobody saying anything about it.
Man.
So all the employment opportunities were concentrated in Austin, which then created a need for everyone to have to drive to Austin for the opportunities. And so that was still happening while gentrification was happening. So now all of us that have the skills, that are the labor force, we've all moved out, and now we have to drive in. And we've moved out as far as we needed to be able to afford housing. And so we have people as far as Bastrop, Giddings, and further that are coming down to 90 to get employment, because that's where the livable wages are. Yeah. So the traffic problem is not a main problem. It has nothing to do with our construction. That's been there. That's 62,000, as of 2018, it was 62,000 trips per day on 290. That's an old stat. So it's only going to grow because the jobs are being concentrated there. Hence the reason why we're saying, give us free so that we can be able to build regional employment centers east between us, Elgin, and Giddings, and take cars off the road, shorten people's commute, make the road
that's
safer.
one of your questions. That was one of your questions from Ms. Williams.
Yeah.
How does Manor's current infrastructure support the anticipated growth? More businesses equal more traffic. How does this work?
So I would say our infrastructure is fine for what Manor is doing. The issue, ma'am, is not Manor. The issue is the over concentration of centralization of resources in the city of Austin. And what we need is for our county and for the city of Austin and for the state of Texas to work with us. And we do have some partners, so I'm not saying they're not doing stuff, but we need a concerted effort to move resources into regional employment centers and create more economic opportunities north, south, east, and west, mostly east, northeast, and southeast, so that we can get the cars off the road. But for what Little Manor is doing, we have the dollars and the fiscal, the conservative financial plan that we've had for years that has put us in a good position to take care of ourselves. Unfortunately, we have 973 and 290 that are state roads, and we're asking the state to step in and fix their roads because they have financially supported the issue of centralization of resources in the city of Austin.
Yeah.
We got another question.
We got a question out in the audience.
We got a question.
Yeah, I have a quick question. What does annexation look like for Manor over the past couple of years? And moving forward into the future, do you guys have any major plans to annex other areas as the city continue to grow and develop?
Okay, so I think it was maybe 2016, 2017, the ability for cities to annex was taken away by the state. So property owners can petition the entity that they're either in the ETJ of or next to. You can petition that city to annex you. And that's what's been happening all down 973. If you've been in Manor recently, down 973 by Greg Lane, by the senior high school, all that area, it's been annexed in, and people are building homes there. And some of them are choosing to do, I think one developer or a couple of developers are linking. They're going to do like 14 acres of commercial development right there off of 973. So landowners can petition the city to annex in, just like a landowner can go to the other, like if they are next to Elgin or next to Pflugerville, next to Austin, and they border us, and they say, I don't want to annex with you all. I want to go with Manor because Manor already has the water and wastewater next to me, and they could do it for a better cost, more economic development for me. Or I just want to be in Manor.
Yeah.
Then you petition them, they let you out, and then you petition the city to annex in. So the state has put the power in the landowners' hands.
So is that a long, lengthy process?
We've seen one entity do that. I think it took about a couple of months.
Okay.
That ain't bad. That's pretty fast, man. That turnover is. Yeah, that's really bad. We got another question.
What mental health facilities are available in Manor in that area?
Okay, so Manor has we have a legislative agenda out, and we've passed some resolutions just talking about our desire to improve health conditions, mental health. We support the local school district in regards to mental health, and have had a lot of supports that we've been bringing into the area from west, from Austin and eastern Travis County entities. What my hope is that we can attract a regional hospital where we can have a major space that can serve the needs not only of Manor, but everything north, south, and east of us, and west. Because if you go west, it's still not, heading towards East Austin, 183 area, Daffy Lane, all that area, Johnny Morris. They don't have the medical facilities necessary to address all of the health needs and concerns. And so when we were doing like a little straw survey or whatever you will, to find out how far people were commuting for medical needs, we're talking about 20 to 25 miles is what some people were having to do to get to doctor appointments, depending on where they were going, because some of the services that they were getting provided were way west Austin. And so that's too far to go in emergencies. There was a time period in 2022 where there were a lot of car accidents on 290, and they were fatal or near fatal. Yeah. And the roads were so bad, and the distance to the care they needed was so far, Starflight had to come. And that's dangerous to be a city that's at 23,000 that we know we're projected to get to 100,000, and there's not a regional hospital in this area.
Yeah.
So that's a major priority for us, is to ensure that we bring healthcare, physical and mental resources to the area. What some people have done is rent space at the medical tower off of, it's in Shadow Glen, next to the Shadow Glen golf course. I guess would be east of the golf course. There's a tall little medical tower, I think 3 or 4 stories. There's been a lot of medical providers that have rented space there. Some mental health folks have been just partnering with the school district to provide additional services or to get referrals. But then if your services are in Austin, you got to deal with that whole transportation situation of getting of people now still going out to get services. So our goal is to bring stuff here, not because we want it in Manor, but because the entire eastern region, 183 over, needs something in this region.
Yeah. So Chris, you guys are sitting. So you have Tesla, that's roughly just 12 miles south of you.
Yeah.
And then you got Samsung, which is 16 miles north of you. So that's generating jobs. Are you still seeing an influx of people looking to come to Manor to live in the Manor?
Yeah. We're still we're still growing. The housing cost issues have not slowed down purchases to a point maybe some other people are experiencing. People are still buying. It may be slow for us,
Right.
but compared to other cities, it's not slow. I mean, we're the, I think, 7th fastest growing suburb in the nation.
That's pretty big, man.
And then we were, or maybe it's a different number. I know we were in the top 7 for fastest growing, and then top 7 for best places to live.
Oh, man.
For the small suburban cities in the
Really
United States.
good. Really good.
So people are seeing what we're doing now, and they're seeing what we're planning to do.
Man.
And they're taking note, and and that's why I'm encouraging everyone to have patience. If you already live in Manor, have patience, because if you move out, you're gonna wish you didn't.
Yeah.
A lot of your people on here from Manor are saying get involved. They need more volunteers. They need more people involved.
We do.
And I say that, and I was mentioning it earlier because I think of our lives, and the people that changed my life and spun it in the right direction did it for free.
For free.
A lot of the people that made the most impact. So get out here and volunteer. And they talking about a town hall is mandatory. They want that town hall.
Well, let's do it.
Miss Cassandra, he's gonna get you that town hall coming your way.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah.
That Hardeman.
Yeah, that's
I already
Jaguar
know,
Nation. She getting busy.
It's
We'll get
amazing
that
how
town
them
hall.
Jags
But
come
she
back.
got her feet in the streets though.
Yeah.
She worked, she volunteered, she do it all, bro.
Yeah.
And one of the questions I want to get with you on is a guy, one of our followers, he said maybe off topic, but we have the richest African American investor who lives in Austin. How do we access people like that for real estate, for reality investment strategy and opportunities? How do we access those around us? What do we need to do?
I'm trying to stalk all his social media right now so I can get in there. Because what I've seen is he does invest in minority communities. He does invest in the Black community.
Yes.
And if I can get that invite, all I need is 3 minutes. And
what we doing. If you know somebody that knows somebody,
tell them to hit me up.
Mr. Chris Harvey.
So it ain't no if, it's when.
It's win. It's win. Because there's opportunities, and there's other folks that we have a lot of minority investors and people that are trying to come and invest in Manor.
That's what I want to hear.
Because they see it. Manor is unique. I mean, we're majority minority. We're also majority leadership. Minority leadership, Black and brown. On council in our school district, majority Black and brown leadership, and that just doesn't exist anywhere else except for Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio.
Right.
And so there's really an opportunity to create a space. I'm not saying that we excluding other races. I'm just saying for the challenge that minority communities always experience in larger cities. There's an opportunity to have a safe space if that's what you're looking for. There's the opportunity to have a safe space in a community that appreciates diversity.
Right.
our white brothers and sisters appreciate our black and brown brothers and sisters,
Right.
and vice versa. This
Right.
is we have a good portion of folks that have come from the Philippines because they're working in the school district. Everyone has it's a big love fest
Right.
in Manor, and so I would say for those that have been gentrified and pushed out, and you're looking for a place for community where you can be your authentic self and not have to look over your shoulder.
Yeah. Perfect.
Manor.
Right.
Man.
Right. So, like when we think about, go ahead, Elmer, go ahead.
I was
like
gonna say,
what you got. Go ahead.
here's that plug, right? To get that plug, what Manor, what's unique about Manor, and why should people come to Manor?
Okay. Well, so I would say those things I just listed, right?
Right.
You have a city council that does not get paid, who have chosen to serve to move the city forward for all of the residents that are there. Black, brown, white, Asian, whatever it is, we are all in to make everyone feel safe, to ensure that everyone is part of the community. We've doubled down on increasing community events and opportunities for people to celebrate and have fun together. So that's there. We're not fighting amongst ourselves. I would also say, for those of y'all that grew up in East Austin, one of the things we know is we don't have to worry about driving to certain communities in Manor and worrying about getting pulled over.
Right.
Because we have a police force that is heavily involved in schools and in our youth programs, building relationships ground up. That just didn't exist in Austin.
Yeah.
Didn't exist. We knew a few officers because we ran into them, and they knew our mom and them, something like that, or they worked in the school. But other than that,
that's it.
We was looking off shoulder. Y'all know, leaving LBJ to go to Sonic, you's probably gonna get pulled over by a cop, and they's gonna stop and say something to you.
Ray and
we don't
Elmer drive.
Well, those of us that were leaving that wasn't supposed to be leaving.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But Maine is really I mean, nobody's crime free. And you had some recent tragedies and stuff like that.
Touch on that.
But when you look at our crime statistics compared to the national average and what's happening around us, we are an extremely safe community.
There you go.
You won't find an event that's beneficial for the community where you won't see the officers right there in plain clothes or uniforms, fully going out supporting the event, regardless of race, regardless of what's going on. That our officers train more in restorative practices, cultural proficiency, and all those different things to ensure that they know how to work with people of color at least 200 plus hours more than the neighboring police force.
That's great, man.
And that's another thing. Manor Palooza is another one. So our 2-day event, free to get in, food, festival.
Going too fast, Manor Palooza. When is that? Talk to him.
Cinco de Mayo weekend.
You said you didn't want them zooming through. We're trying to stop.
Cinco de Mayo weekend. I think it was 4th, 5th, and 6th this past year. Every year it gets bigger. We had so many people there. It's a Friday and Saturday. We had so many people on Friday this year. All of the vendors sold out.
Wow. That's a
and
plus.
They had to go somewhere and refuel for Saturday.
Man.
And so that's Manor Palooza. We have our 4th of July. We have literally the best fireworks company in the country. They actually are Manor business, and they do our fireworks for us. They sync their fireworks show to music, and it's a theatric that you do not want to miss.
Wow.
This year we had people that came in from Pflugerville and Round Rock in droves to watch our fireworks show, and that's part of our 4th of July celebration. Our Juneteenth celebration is big, growing. We have it on Juneteenth. Some of y'all know what I'm
saying. Say that again.
No,
say that again. I almost threw a flag. I couldn't reach it.
Because they usually,
y'all have Juneteenth on when?
On
Friday.
Juneteenth.
That's Saturday.
Do it on
Saturday leading up to it.
Whatever that day say, 19.
That's what it is.
It's a holiday now, ain't
It's a holiday, so we do it on the holiday.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so, and this past year we had a great time. I think we ran it from 12 to 8 p.m. We brought in some live bands and have food out there and had a program to honor the day. But again, very diverse community. You know, and we had a good showing of everyone there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And had an opportunity to, you know, just talk and make sure people understand. But most importantly, it was people meeting people that didn't look alike, and understanding and
That's
celebrating
That's major.
and appreciating culture.
Major.
So that Juneteenth event is there. We're working on our MLK, and we got some things in the work to try to start, you know, doing more for Hispanic Heritage Month. So we're working to bring those holidays and festivities to the forefront. I think when we get some more of our facilities on ground, you'll start seeing us, you know, really talking about performing arts,
Yeah.
concerts, theatrics, plays, and those sorts of things.
Part of this bond, right? That's what we push.
Well, that'll be probably part two.
Part two.
That's going to lay the groundwork for some of the things we're trying to do. We'll definitely be able to do the outdoor venue style stuff. With some of the things that we're trying to do in this first bond.
Initially, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But some of the other things that I can't speak of.
Yeah.
That
Say,
are
man,
not-
you're gonna have to start speaking on the locker room because we get busy up here. We
give
talk.
us a year and a half. Give us a year and a half. We can speak on.
We're gonna give you 6 months. You coming back on 6
What's-
months?
what-
you can
what's
tell
6
us in
months?
6 months.
What month is that? What's
So
this?
6
Let
months.
Let me see if I can do that.
January, February.
February time frame.
You know what? I might have some updates now. I got to do the State of the City address. I do it in February.
Okay, so there it is right there.
So I may have some new things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So upcoming in the present, what do we have in front of us right now that we need to attack and address? What are your, as far as getting voters out, what are some of your main issues right now, my brother?
Getting people registered, educated on the upcoming election, and their opportunity.
When is that state election? We got to continue to throw it out there.
November. What's that Tuesday?
That Tuesday.
Somebody find that Tuesday. I think it'll have early voting though, and before that. But this November 2023, we'll have that big bond election.
Okay.
And I would say people just need to educate themselves on.
We need more
what we have.
volunteers, y'all getting out, spreading this
November
information.
2023.
Yeah, so
We
November
need support.
7th.
Yeah.
We need to get that knowledge and that info
That's
out.
Thursday. So that Tuesday.
On all levels, man.
Yeah,
Even if
the
it's going
7th.
through the text message through the phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got to
November
find a
7th.
system to get that to that.
Yeah.
man.
November 7th,
2023.
So
voting day.
the most important thing is get educated now. I'll answer all the questions that you need to know. So I'm not a politician. I'm just here to help and move our city forward. So
Yeah.
I'm not getting no check. I have no PAC dropping money into an account for me to survive or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's strictly about helping the people. So
That's one of the things I pose to the community as well. What are some creative ways we can get this information out to y'all? What are some ways y'all receive information? What is the best way to get this out to the masses so that we can keep these kind of men in office that are moving our communities forward? So when y'all get a chance, shoot them questions in. What is the best way to get this information out to y'all?
Yeah.
I'm already say outlets like this, having you know what I'm saying, having a platform like this. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Are there any more questions on there that
And they watching. There ain't no questions right now.
Okay.
They plugged in to watching you. They listening. So can I ask this? And I know you said diversity. When I think of the Midwest, Detroit, and those places, they kind of hung their hat on the factories, the car business. But what is our staple? I know you say diversity, but what is the staple of Manor? What is something you want to hang that city on? Or a theme or a slogan for the city moving forward? What is that? What does that look like?
So for a city our size, if we lock into one thing, we can doom ourselves in the future.
I like that. That's cool.
So we have to be able to.
That's
That's why
happened to the Midwest.
That happened to the Midwest.
Yes.
So we have to be able to be creative and innovative, and that's why we talk about the necessary components of a thriving city that's sustainable. A sustainable city has to have a relationship between the school district, the city, and a higher education institution, some type of training institute where people can always be trained and pivot. If you don't have access to that, then when Workforce Solutions comes in and says, "Hey, we don't need no more of them," Now this is the thing we need. You have the resources to pivot. If you don't have the resources in your community to pivot, then you got a whole bunch of people that are stuck. And that's what we saw when COVID hit. When COVID hit and there wasn't resources for adults to pivot, many people just went straight unemployed. Food business industry, a lot of folks lost.
That's our
lost
T-shirt
it.
right there, man.
Yeah.
Train and pivot. I like how you say that every time. I'm a basketball dude, but when you can pivot it, you got
that's
options
it.
out of that.
You got
know
there you
what
go.
I'm saying? So I love that train and pivot. That's great.
So what we have to do is we have to look and see what's sustainable. And so we know tech is always going to grow. So we need to ensure that we're looking to see what companies can we invite in that are going to have tech that's going to be here to go, here to grow, but also that are going to build facilities that if the dynamics or the scope changes, those facilities can be repurposed to go into the new need. It means the city being a good partner and having a good relationship with the school district to help to usher in companies or whatever the city can do to give the school district additional support, whatever that might be,
Right.
so that they can have what they need to ensure that their students are growing and graduating with the best possible skills. So if that means, the workforce said, hey, this is the stuff y'all need in the next 2 years, and the city needs to go provide incentives to bring that company to the area so that they can have that closer relationship with the school district and they work together to do those type of things, then that's what needs to happen.
Right.
It's no different from what Taylor has recently done with Samsung. Right. So they got together, the school district and the city got together with Wilco, and they provide all sorts of financial packages to bring Samsung there. And you're talking about $17 billion dollar investment
Biggest
into the
plan
city
in the world.
But that's just Samsung. That has nothing to do with all of their subcontractees and their providers that are going to come into the area to support them.
Right.
So
Like
our goal is to
AMD.
find out what industries are still needing to come to the area, trying to find a space for them. We know manufacturing, we know semiconductor, we know information technology, we know healthcare.
Right.
And so those are the areas that we're looking, those people we're talking to try to bring together.
Man, that's an LBJ education, man. You went to LBJ?
I went to
Let them
LBJ,
tell it, man. We didn't have no black
Big
excellence,
things come
man.
from small packages.
Man, it amazes me that you work for free, though. With all this knowledge and wisdom, it amazes me. We're going to get you a check out there, man, bro. That's what we're pushing for. We're going to get this man paid out there.
So
We're going to get out and vote and keep him in place, though. That's the big thing.
that's the big thing, right?
Yes.
So first thing first is Manor is seeing a lot of development. His vision has been awesome.
Excellent.
His council members have been awesome with their vision.
Yep.
So with that being said, we need to get out there and vote this guy back in. That's November. When do you come back up?
November 2024.
November 2024.
So I got a year to campaign starting this November.
I got it. So
Let's bring his visions to life. That's how you campaign, by helping him bring his vision to life.
Yeah.
So,
Let's do that.
so with that, Chris,
Yeah.
when we get you reelected, I ain't gonna say if, when we get you reelected, because we're gonna claim that right now. What do you see? What do you see Manor in 5 years? What is your vision for
5
Manor in
years?
5 years?
Those things I can't talk about.
Here you go with this, man. I'm gonna throw a flag on that, man.
Those things I can't talk about, I would say will either be on the ground or almost on the ground.
Because you know they watching and listening.
They watching.
yeah.
I can't. If I say too many things, then people will go and
Speculate.
no, they'll probably go and try to mess it up.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So
The spirit at the
yeah.
Moving silence.
Yeah, so
Man.
you got to move in silence. Can't everybody know what you're doing.
Man.
Yeah.
So I think those things be done. But I think we'll have more employers here. I think we'll have you'll be able to shop and do more of what you can't do in Manor. Those things will be here. You'll be able to. My hope in 5 years is there will be a continuing growing need for more affordable and workforce housing.
Yeah.
That what we construct between now and then will be full, and there'll be a growing need for us to continue to partner with our PFC and others to build more of that, so that we can bring in more folks into the community.
So, Chris, let's talk about that, because if we rewind, back 4 or 5 years ago, probably even 3 years ago, you could get into Manor for $250,000
or less. 2019, you can get in
For
for about
one?
two. You can get in for about 202 in a brand new house.
Okay, and so now we've seen escalation, prices that the market is just crazy. How do you as Manor and the city council members build things that keep things affordable? Because now I know entry level it's 400 out there, right? And so how do you keep things affordable so that you don't price the people that want to come and have, as we talked about, some dirt, want to have something to be able to pass on? What type of things do you guys put in place to be able to do that?
The city has to buy land. And that's one of the things that's in that bond package. I can't tell you to do it or not do it because we already posted it for election. So I can just educate you, not persuade you, I can educate you. So I'm educating you.
Right.
When the city owns the land, when the city has the funds to put into infrastructure, then the city can cut the cost to the manufacturing. When you cut the cost to the manufacturing, you can also control the density and the number of homes, you can control the layouts, and you can ensure that you're putting products in that are quality, but also affordable. When you don't own nothing, you can't do nothing. And so what that then means is, when I come in as a developer, I got to put my own infrastructure in. I got to put my own roads. I got to do all that stuff.
Cost you.
It's going to cost, and guess who's going to pay it? Everyone that buy a house, you paying for the road, that sewer, and all that stuff you're paying for. So, so the only way to do that is for us to invest in ourselves, understanding that over time that money is going to come back.
That's one of your comments. Invest in us. One of our great followers was like, "We got to invest in us." That's what we need to get back to. Great question. Great question, El.
Yeah, that was a real good question.
Man, we really can't miss you though, bro. Like, I'm listening to you, and I love listening and being educated, bro. Every question you've approached it the right way and knocked it out the park, man.
Yeah, he did.
So tell me this, like, when you in Manor, what is one thing you just love to do in Manor? Whether it's a restaurant, whether it's somewhere you go play golf, what is one of your favorite things to do in Manor?
Okay. Eat. So Manor has some good restaurants. I would say the ones I frequent most, Texas guy, we do barbecue.
Yeah, man.
So I'll go to Texas Traditional. I call it the Red Barn.
Yeah.
And shout out to Texas Traditional.
Yeah.
Thursday Steak and Cake.
They got the best chopped beef on bun sandwich I've ever eaten.
Ooh.
Texas Traditional.
Traditional.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chopped beef on bun sandwiches.
Bomb.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Thursday during lunch hour, the mom, she makes cakes. Dad, he does ribeyes.
Oh man.
Okay.
So steak and cake about $15 and a drink. So I like them. Good Luck Grill. That catfish is good. They Luckily salad with the fried chicken on it is good. Hamburgers are good. Mom and pop food truck over there. D&B.
Okay.
Chuck Wagon.
Chuck D Wagon.
Chuck D Wagon. Yeah. I mean, they got their fried chicken is awesome. They got some good soul food stuff over there, fried pork chops. They got peach cobbler every day for those that like peach cobbler.
Come on.
You got
So you can't say this because you can't promote this, but lituation, your daiquiris, to go.
I was going to say it.
But
I was going to say it. Eric Jeffries over there.
Yeah.
The situation, they got daiquiris to go.
We got Fred Nunn out
Fred,
there too.
Fred Nunn on the corner.
Fred on the corner
Yeah.
across from D&B.
Yeah.
I tell you, Fred,
Fred get busy out there.
I don't know how Fred does it, but you go and you buy some chicken wings from him, and I swear you just got more than what you paid for.
That's just how it is.
That's every time you go see Fred Nunn. You gonna get more than what
You're gonna
paid
get more
for.
than what you paid for, and so he's catered a lot of stuff for
And
the
the
church
food
and the
is
family,
excellent.
Yeah,
and
man.
the food is excellent.
Keep it up, Fred.
Costa Garcia's is good. I mean, I try to hit them all.
Yeah.
You know,
So we need to eat when we go to Manor.
yeah, you come
Slow
on out
down
there,
and eat.
Slow down and eat. There's a lot of good food spots.
Okay.
The food truck, I can't think of the name, but the little taco shop right next to D&B,
Yeah.
man, those tacos are awesome.
Right there.
Right there. Then there's a little food truck parked down the road where Al Wayne's is for Caribbean food. No, Jamaican food.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It got some good jerk chicken over there.
Look at that. Y'all heard that?
And then there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. You see, I like eat.
Yeah.
So my other thing I do is I go to HT Fitness.
Yeah.
Every morning between 4:30 and 5:30. That's why, so that's where you
That's
come.
what's up.
Okay.
Man. That's what's up right there, boy. Yeah. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
We almost there. Damn,
Well,
we done got that quick, man.
we don't mess
you.
with
You
that.
educate us. I don't like
you-
to end this. So tell the people something. Talk to us. Give us some education about this. I like to throw it off the backboard about voting and getting out here and supporting our leaders in the community.
So the Mac fact.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna do the Mac fact. That's a single blow to the face.
You busy,
But now let's be real, man. We up here, we got the mayor walking and Teddy Q and everything with the love and all of this, but we all got to come together as one, and we all know this. We grow together, we eat together, okay? And we can't be bad-mouthed and talking down. Let's keep all that negativity up out of here, man, because this ain't nothing but love and blessings. And he's sitting right amongst us, man. And he gave you some he gave you some knowledge you ain't gonna get in college.
Man.
I work on that one next. So the whole thing about it is we all gotta come together and understand what he really shooting at here is we all gotta vote. And we gotta all, it's not just us, we gotta teach them youngins how to vote and come together. Not just us, man. We gotta, it ain't just us. It's who in the household with us. You know, come on. Once again, we got to eat together. We got this dinner talk. You know what I mean? And we got to all like fall in place. Like they need to know his name. You know, being in junior high, they need to know his name.
Yeah.
You know, so they can know how instead of just leaving everything on the parent. We got enough going on. But how about when that youngster come up to you and say, "Hey, mama, man, I heard you talking about such and such." We got to have this conversation in our homes, people.
Yeah.
It ain't all just grown talk. They listening if you think they not. So let's make it positive and make sure we wrapping our arms around this man that's helping us free and understand that he don't have to do this, but he doing it because it's his pleasure, man.
It's his calling.
It's his calling. And once again, it got to be at the tables. We got to bring this stuff to the tables, people. With your kids, with other family members. Let's talk about this and make this thing grow, man, so we can, see how far we can go with this, man, because it's all about, it's for us, but it's by us, but it's all around us.
And I like what you said, bro. We made Barack a household name, but Black history is right with us every day. We don't have to wait till February.
Yeah.
Let's make Chris Harvey a household name. We have a Black mayor that's powerful, well-educated, and has a true vision. Let's make this a household name. Let's make this who we want to aspire to be, not Dak Prescott. I mean, this is something we can put. This changes lives, bro.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? This is what our household names need to be.
Right.
This is what we need to uphold and uplift, bro.
That sports is
for
only
sure.
9 months.
Well, I think the biggest thing
8, 7.
that's a takeaway
Household
is
name.
understanding some things that you do in life are not about money.
Right.
It's simply about purpose.
Right.
And so
Big Elmer. Say that again, Elmer Fisher.
some things that you do in life are simply not about money. They're about purpose. And I think that what your calling is and your purpose is for is to grow, a city, a city that has been behind in growth for years. And so I think I want to truly commend you for taking time to be able to do it for free,
Man.
to literally not only, help yourself, your children, because you bought a home there, but other people's children to be able to reserve legacy, heritage. That's what this all comes from.
Yeah.
So, big. I'm going to put the plug out there is understand when you got people that are willing to fight for you at no cost, don't cheat them when it's time to put them back in the seat.
Man.
It's powerful, Elmer Fisher.
Nice.
Say that again, bro. I
Man,
got you on
God.
repeat. Say that again,
He
man.
said, go back.
I just said, don't forget to put the people in the seat. November of 24, when it's time to vote, when people that are
That's
willing to
heavy,
do the
dog.
work for you for free.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
ain't charging nothing. He said, just come here and I'm going to give you everything you need.
He just laid
Town
it out.
town hall meetings,
Yeah.
I'll be here.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes, he said, tell me how to get it to you. My team is doing this for free. And one thing I can truly tell you is that Manor has evolved under his leadership. And so what we want to continue to do is see people evolve and Manor evolve under his leadership. Furthermore, what's big is he's telling you is we don't want to see regentrification happen.
Right.
So understand when you have somebody that is sitting in the seat that is fighting for what your parents have worked years for and died for. Keep that man in your Dr. Chris Harvey.
Make it a household name.
Yeah.
Let's make it a household name. Black excellence, baby.
Yeah.
And guess what? I'm just gonna go and put it out there because we all here.
Let's go.
Guess what? He does bleed purple, so he's another Jaguar.
That's what we do.
all the way.
That's what it is, man.
So we sum it up like that, man. We're going to get behind you. We're going to need you back on here. We're going to put the information out there whenever you need us to do it, my brother.
Yeah.
You got our full support. This is a family thing. I can't leave it out that I love my brothers, bringing the unity. When another black man can shout out another black man's business, it's important to us. His wife does the same thing. Check out my Gold Chasers with my sister, Miss Bobby, D1. We getting busy, bruh.
Why you call her D1?
I can't tell the word.
Oh,
I'm be
okay.
like Chris Harvey. I can't tell y'all that. I got a secret. I ain't telling y'all that. That's for us to know.
But we gotta put the super plug out there for next week, and then we'll let him part with parting words and close out.
Yeah.
But next week, probably the hottest episode coming is going to be the power of the queens. So we're going to have some dynamic women up here that we're going to really ask some questions, and we're going to let them get out after of it. So make sure that you tune in next Tuesday for Power of the Queens.
And I know a lot of y'all want the relationship questions. They said they'll touch on that slightly too. They gonna tell you how to be a mama, a wife, and all that.
Don't get mad though. When they say something you don't like it, don't get mad. Don't ask them, and they know you. You know what I mean.
So the other thing is I think next week, just live audience as well.
Yeah.
We're inviting the ladies out to share,
Ladies night.
this pod, the Power of the Queen for that vodcast.
Yeah.
So we're really looking forward to it. We think that it's going to be a huge episode.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
We know it is.
Every episode was huge. This was huge to me.
Yeah.
I love it. I like when I'm taught and I learn and grow,
Because
man.
you can't never get information without revelation.
No doubt, bro.
No.
But it debunks the theory. We got somebody to get behind.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's a reason to vote.
Right.
You look at the presidential election, it's the lesser of two evils. Like,
True. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 'cause
now
they
we
both.
have somebody that we can really support. They both. He not both. He's different. So we gonna get behind this.
Yeah.
We're gonna let you close it out, my
Yeah,
brother,
man.
Jaguar Nation.
Yeah. How can we get a hold to you though?
You can find y'all got my number.
Okay.
Y'all can hit me up anytime. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook, and really, man, I'll just say this journey to acquiring the knowledge and experience has taught me a lot of stuff. It's put me in rooms that I would not have normally been in or even known that exist.
Right.
And I've learned about a lot of how things are made and done, decisions are made and done. And, you know, I would say one of the biggest things I've learned is that by the time we find out, it's already been 10, 15 years too late.
Yes.
And so,
You teaching today.
so for us to really start talking about how to move communities of impoverished people forward,
Right.
we have to, it's like you got to make an aggressive move, right? If you go to a doctor says, you got some type of bad infection here and it's moving aggressively, and you go home to think about it, you might go from here, lose your whole arm or die in the night. So when you find out that you're behind, when you find out that there's more to learn and you don't move aggressively, you're gonna need more than just what's them called, them procedures where them day procedures.
Yeah.
You're gonna need more than that. You're gonna have to go in for real surgery. You're gonna have to go in the emergency room, and you may not come out of that.
Yeah.
So, so those of y'all that are interested in talking about economic development, how do you move from point A to point B, and have thriving communities where it's diverse. But if you're talking specifically in the Black and brown community, how do we move to a thriving, how do we come together and move forward? You need to know how systems and cities are built. You need to understand the people that are the gatekeepers. You need to understand that there are still systematic things that exist that keep us from moving forward. And we can't be afraid to call out those names. We can't be afraid to hold people accountable to giving us the things that we need and deserve. And, we can do that. We can come together, be brave, and handle that. Then, our kids won't have to worry. Our kids won't have to worry. They'll grow up in those communities that we wanted to live in ourselves, or the communities that we had those experiences in there. We can recreate those things, but we gotta prioritize the next generation. If we don't, then it'll just keep going. Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, but pleasure. Are you still recruiting? You need some help on your team? You need what you need? You need support?
How
many people you need?
Well, they want a town hall. I need some people to help me put together some town halls.
Miss Cassandra.
I need some people to help pass out info or circulate info on the bond coming up. And then definitely I need some folks to help me block walk when it's time to do re-election.
Let us know when it's time. That's what we're. Hey, but understand, he needs support. So those that are saying get involved, he need help in every aspect.
You don't have to live in Manor, so to walk the streets with me.
Right. Well, the other thing is, come election time, we need your dollars too. They help.
That's real.
Yeah.
Invest in us.
Invest in us.
That's awesome, man.
Well, we brought to you another special edition. This one I need y'all to rewind. Some of this you're not going to get the first time.
Too much.
Chris Harvey, special edition. Like, share, vote, get out and support, and gain that knowledge and wisdom. We'll see you next week with the ladies, the queens.
Power of the queen.
Power of the queens, baby. Thank you for tuning into the locker room. We'll see you next week. Pray over your families and lead like men and women supposed to.
Blessings.
Blessings.